Our Wednesday night fights here on your boxing channel come to you live from our world headquarters in beautiful Tampa, Florida. This is ProBox TV. We don't promote boxers, we promote boxing. And we get things started with a matchup in the super lightweight division. Tristan Gallichan and Ryan Schwartzberg. They are going to fight on ProBox TV. We have seen Ryan the Lion before, and then our co-main event is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super lightweight division. Born in Armenia, now living in Los Angeles and trained by the great Freddie Roach, Petros Ananyan fights Venezuela's Cristian Baez, who is 19-2, with 17 of those wins coming by knockout. And our main event of the evening is a 12-round super featherweight matchup with title ramifications. The winner will be the mandatory for the WBA super featherweight title. Otar is back, 13-0, Otar Eranosyan. His opponent is Roger the Kid Gutierrez. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, of course, with my powerful partners, the former two-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. Okay, just for a second. I've noticed when we do this, you guys don't smile. Are you upset for some reason? Okay, cool. All right, they're happy. All right, let's talk about a guy who always entertains us, Paulie, and that is Otar Eranosyan.
Yeah, man. Eranosyan, a guy who likes to throw a lot of punches, likes to make the fight, but likes to do a little bit of showboating as well. He's a bit of a personality, but don't let all the bluster fool you. The guy has a big amateur career. He's undefeated for a reason, and he's hungry tonight.
He is late on the timetable, if you will, Chris, because of the amateur career. But if he gets the big win tonight, he gets the bigger things.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's on the fast track. He's only in his 14th pro fight.
Yep.
He's fighting a former world champion tonight. So this is a step-up fight. You know, Roger Gutierrez is no walkover by any means. This is a massive step up for Otar, but he's hungry and ready for this kind of fight.
Tell us what impresses you about his opponent, Gutierrez.
So Gutierrez, he really impressed me in his fight against Rene Alvarado when he won the title. Defended it against Rene Alvarado once again. Yeah. I mean, he is big for the weight class. He's long, he's strong, and he likes to fight.
Otar seems to always have an endless gas tank, but Paulie, this will be the first time in his career he's been scheduled for 12 rounds.
And as a professional, this is a step up. Not only is it for the schedule of 12-rounder, but he's in with a guy who's kind of battle-tested. You know, the champ Chris brought out the wins over Alvarado. Alvarado himself had some big wins in his career, and of course, being an ex-world champion, you know, before you get on with those title shots, you usually take on the ex-title challengers, the ex-world champions. That step up is tonight for Otar Eranosyan.
And here on our ProBox TV Wednesday night fights, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. Chris, it always seems like it is a turning point in a young man's career, or a little bit more elderly. In Otar's case, you got to be the world champion to get to world championship level.
Absolutely, and a lot of times you see this. It's kind of like the new lion eating the old lion, but Roger Gutierrez is no old lion. I mean, yes, he's been there. Yes, he's a veteran. Yes, he's got the pro experience. He's a former world champion. But listen, he's coming to win tonight. This is a last chance for him. This is the kind of fights that we love. You know, both these guys have so much on the line. They're going to dig deep, and I expect fireworks in the main event.
Chris said last chance. That brings us back to our great last chance tournament, Paulie.
Well, you know what? It's a world title eliminator. You win, you get a world title shot. So last chance, first chance, you want the chance to win and fight for the world title.
And Chris, thank you for the segue into our first fight of the night. The Lion, Ryan Schwartzberg, set to face Tristan Gallichan. With the official introductions of our first fight of the night, let's get it to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 4 rounds in the super lightweight division. Esta pelea está pautada a 4 asaltos en el peso super ligero. Your judges, los jueces, Jed O'Connor, Michael Ross, and Tito Wilgo. And your referee in charge, El Arbitro, Michael De Jesus. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks, en la esquina azul con pantalones negro, pesando 140.8 libras, weighing in at 140.8 pounds, a veteran of 16 professional bouts, un veterano de 16 peleas profesionales from Dania, Florida. Please welcome Ryan, the Lion Schwartzberg. And fighting out of the red corner, also wearing the black, en la esquina rojo con pantalones negro, pesando 140.8 libras, weighing in at 140.8 pounds. With a record of 1 win, no losses, with that 1 win by knockout, con record 1 victoria, 0 derrotas, con 1 por la vía del knockout, from Winter Haven, Florida, it's your boy, Tristan Gallichan!
All right, guys, the rules were told to you in the locker room and in the corner. You know what I expect. Touch gloves if you want to. If not, go back to your corner.
First fight of the night scheduled for 4 rounds. Ryan Schwartzberg and Tristan Gallichan. Here we go. It's time to fight. Both men in the black trunks. Red corner held by Tristan Gallichan, thus the red wraps, and the red gloves with the blue wraps sported by the Lion, Ryan Schwartzberg.
Gallichan only in his second pro fight here. He made his pro debut here at ProBox TV a few weeks ago. Schwartzberg actually trains in my gym. You know, veteran 14 fights, and you know, even though he has 11 losses, he's actually coming off of a upset victory over 7-0 fighter in his very last fight. So this is a no easy fights here at ProBox TV, even for a 1-0 guy like Gallichan.
And of course, we have talked about the Davis brothers.
Box.
Keyshawn,
Blue,
the Olympian. Schwartzberg has shared the
box.
ring with Kelvin
Watch that
Davis.
shoulder. Don't throw that elbow.
And Schwartzberg's not a guy who just comes to lay down. You know, you look at his record, it can be deceiving. He's going to make you work. So if you are a fake prospect or a prospect that is a little bit on his nerves, you know, you could end up in a tough fight. If you just got 1 pro fight, it's a guy with a lot of experience, Schwartzberg.
Yeah, experience is experience. I mean, it's one of the most important parts of the sport. Ooh, good right hand there from Gallichan. And Schwartzberg definitely has the experience. He's a tough, rough guy. You can see the way he's coming out, being very aggressive.
Watch that looping punch.
Not acting like an opponent early in round number 1.
Yeah, I think Schwartzberg himself knows that, you know, he's got a guy with not a lot of pro experience. Maybe he's a little wet behind the ears. Maybe try to get on him early and cause him to become a little bit unnerved.
And you talked about, Chris, the recent victory for Ryan Schwartzberg over 7-0 Christian Rivera. That's got to boost your confidence massively.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know Schwartzberg. You know, like I said, he's come to spar at our gym a few times over in Boca from neighboring Dania Beach. But he's a guy who learns on the job. You know, he's picking up his professional boxing experience. He's fought in many different combat sports. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Goldie. I mean, coming off a win of an undefeated prospect, that's got to give you some juice coming in here tonight.
And that Lion, Ryan Schwartzberg, has tamed his mane, if you will, probably a little bit since the last time he was here.
Oh, yeah. Got that little bit of a Tommy Morrison look.
There,
yeah, right?
That's right. Very well put.
Wonder if he has that left hook like Tommy.
Well, let's wait and see. Scheduled for 4 rounds in the super lightweight division. Black gloves, red wrap for Tristan Gallichan. Ryan Schwartzberg in the red gloves, blue wrap. Great to be here as always on a Wednesday night with my powerful partners, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, and fellow former world champion, Chris Algieri.
You know, I had mentioned that Schwartzberg had fought in several different combat arts. You see him stepping through sometimes. That's something you see sometimes in kickboxing, MMA guys. As they throw punches, they kind of end up in the opposite stance.
Yeah, you can see that, Chris. A good point. And he's throwing a punch as he's changing stances as well.
Good. Nice and calm. Good. Good. You're stabbing that body. Oh, I need that right hand behind that stab. Mix it up. You hit that right hand nice to the body.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the up jab.
Look at me. Don't do every shot with all your might.
You're starting to find your punches now. Good. Now you're starting to hit his ass. Hey, he's mean, but he ain't smart. A little bit more. Just a little bit.
Don't go crazy. You want home run.
Yes, sir.
Hey, make sure if y'all gonna do that, have a towel down there so you don't get water.
Ryan Schwartzberg,
Second
as
round.
Chris talked about,
Second round, mount.
had a
Same
total
thing.
of 7
Second round, mount.
mixed martial arts
Let's go.
fights, 5 amateur, 2 professional.
Box.
Round 2, Tristan Gallichan, Ryan Schwartzberg, scheduled for 4. The Lion, Ryan Schwartzberg, in the red gloves, blue wrap. guess he's got a little bit of a design on his black shorts. Solid black shorts for Tristan Gallichan.
Schwartzberg landed a really nice overhand right to start this round. He's doing a good job of changing levels, punching down, punching up, switching sides,
switching stance,
making it difficult.
Yeah, I tell you, awkward opponent for your second pro fight for Gallichan. You know, it's like Schwartzberg is here to not only fight, but he's also doing it in an awkward fashion. Makes him tough to time.
And we always say it, there's no easy fights here at ProBox TV. Even a guy with 11 losses is coming here to win.
You see trying to fire over the top. He's trying to even time Gallichan.
Oh, nice catch there. Good left hook upstairs, partially blocked by Schwartzberg.
Gallichan, sorry, Paulie, 27 years old.
I think Gallichan would be better off just to try to keep it simple. He's looking for right hands, he's looking for hooks. You know, you beat a guy like Schwartzberg snapping out jabs and keeping it simple and sort of walking him into shots, because if you try to time him, he's not an easy guy to time, and if you try to hit him with complicated shots, he makes awkward defensive moves. So you end up complicating your own life. Sometimes that KISS method works against guys like this that keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can't anticipate a guy like Schwartzberg's movement because he's really not doing things right. You know, you expect the guy to slip one way, but he's going the other way and throwing an awkward punch.
Yeah, I don't even think Schwartzberg anticipates what he's going to do next, you know?
Or what stance he's going to come out in.
Yeah.
And I think now as we've lightened up as coaches in this world, it's keep it simple, son, as opposed to what it used to be, right?
Oh, I don't know. All right.
We got to be proper.
All right. Thanks, Goldie.
Yeah.
I
not
appreciate
that
it.
I would say that to my hockey players when I was coaching them, but you know.
Yeah, no, I'll keep that in mind, though. It's a good point. You know?
There you go, Goldie, saying politically correct these days. Got to appreciate that. Thanks, partner.
You know me. I'm Switzerland, buddy.
Hard thing to do in this boxing world.
Yes, it is. Under a minute, round number 2. First fight of the night here on ProBox TV, your boxing channel.
There goes Gallichan again, trying for that big overhand right from far away. You know, it's hard to look good against Schwartzberg, but he's not making it easier on himself.
But also, you see why we keep inviting guys like Schwartzberg back. I mean, he's going to push these young prospects. Definitely upset-minded, like you said, Goldie. I think he's feeling confident after coming off that win in his last bout.
And for someone who's kind of crossed over, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, to beat an undefeated fighter like he did has to make you think in your own mind, all right, I can do this. I can be successful at this.
Absolutely, especially for a guy like Schwartzberg, who's learning on the job. He's learning as his pro career goes. So, you know, he really doesn't know what his ceiling is.
I don't know. Gallichan's 1-0. Schwartzberg's coming over a win over a guy
7-0. Right.
So he's thinking to himself, I can beat this guy.
There's that big right hand over the top that I had mentioned. That was right at the start of round number 2, and you saw the little words from Schwartzberg too. He said, come on, let's go.
And there's a hook from Gallichan there. It's that right hook of Schwartzberg against the left hook of Gallichan. There's a nice little combination. Simple, but you see the simple combination is what worked there for Gallichan. A little 1-2-1. I think little shots like that will simplify things for Gallichan, but he doesn't stick with it.
And also, Champ, he took the power off that. And I think that was smart. You know, you want to load up with a guy who's loading up with you.
Seconds out.
Midway through our first fight of the night, scheduled for 4 rounds. 33-year-old Ryan Schwartzberg against 27-year-old Tristan Gallichan. Schwartzberg comes out in the southpaw stance at the start of round number 3. Schwartzberg in the red gloves, blue wrap, black gloves, red wrap. Both men in black trunks. Big swing and a miss. The Lion, always known as a warrior. Little bit of a switch hitter, as we talked about, some of that from the MMA background. And you can use the word awkward, or like we've talked about before, Paulie, you could say unorthodox. It sounds a little prettier, and it sounds a little bit more punishing.
Yeah, and you know what? So far, a decent start to the round for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it hasn't been ineffective, the switching from Schwartzberg. He's making it uncomfortable enough for Gallichan.
Yeah, and also Gallichan not keeping him busy because he's looking for the complicated shots, and they're not there. So he ends up not keeping busy. Nice little left hook again for Gallichan. That might be his best weapon he's had so far. Got to watch the clashes of heads there. But he's also not keeping a busy pace which could also make Schwartzberg uncomfortable. And the reason he's not keeping a busy pace is because he's looking for the complicated shots instead of the simple ones.
Gallichan very bladed in his stance. Standout amateur career. Trying to get things going as a professional. You talk about the tough start for Schwartzberg, but now he has won two of his last 3 fights. The most recent, as we talked about, Paulie, the one over an unbeaten fighter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the hard fight is here again here is the constant clashes of heads. Because Schwartzberg is flying in with his head. You see the cut on the side of the head of Gallichan.
Yeah, that's bleeding down,
and
at least away from his eye.
And again, this is also because you've fought this kind of fight with Schwartzberg, and he's kept a positive pace. He's kept a positive outlook on the fight, is Schwartzberg, so he's able to fly in like this. Because if you domesticate an opponent like this early in the fight, by round 3, he's in your pocket already. You know what I mean? Like, you got him controlled. But Schwartzberg is not under control because Gallichan has not earned his respect to this point, so he's still flying in, and now wound up that Gallichan has this cut.
So would you say that Schwartzberg is currently out of pocket?
Yeah. There you go. There you go, Chip. Exactly.
And you know there's significant mixed martial arts experience, Chris, when you go on BoxRec, and one of the links for Ryan Schwartzberg is mixedmartialarts.com.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing it. We're seeing in the way he's throwing his punches, where they're coming from. But I will say he has improved quite a bit. His hand position is much better. They're coming back to home, which is where he's been catching a lot of those left hooks on the outside. That one got through.
Nice right hand there for Gallichan. And then a clash of heads, of course, on the end.
And that's enough. When you got a guy like Schwartzberg who's throwing these looping shots, if you pull away, you get hit on the end of the punch. If you stay in the pocket, you get headbutted. So it's a tough style to deal with.
He's got a little bit of a left way thing going, Goldie.
Yes, he does. Yes.
I've seen a couple of elbows, couple headbutts.
The art of 9 limbs, as it is. As we will see LT smash Nelson tomorrow night, Paulie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A good one. Talk about that clash of heads, and they've been banging heads together. Schwartzberg flying in, and actually it's Gallichan who comes up after dipping low, comes up, and Schwartzberg was flying in, and the clash of heads.
Generally, when you see cuts in the scalp, it's from headbutts.
Bone,
it's not really
bone to bone, elbow or headbutt. Yeah.
Gloves rarely do that.
Yeah, because it's usually a bone to bone thing.
Yeah. But also not in a bad place. It might look ugly. You're going to see some gore, but that's not going to really affect the fight.
But you do got to be careful for other headbutts because they are consistently happening.
Getting set for the 4th and final round.
Say what you will for Schwartzberg and his effort tonight. He's very confident coming into this 4th round.
Could this fight be,
Yeah, he could.
Be some weird scoring here, because I'm telling you, every round has been competitive.
Orthodox start for the 4th round by the Lion, Ryan Schwartzberg.
And Gallichan has done a lot of what you saw a few seconds ago, just kind of bouncing around and not really setting anything up,
Yeah, he's trying to back out with that slapping left hook now. That's been one of the more effective attacks from Gallichan all night. But
you see he's forced a lot of right hands. The jab is almost non-existent.
Ooh, good attempt there from Schwartzberg.
Slapping left hook, but not quite the Stockton slap, right, Chris?
No, not like we saw last week.
I should have trademarked it because I came up with it.
Oh,
and
big
Nick
right
will
hand
tell
there.
you that I did.
Big right hand there from Schwartzberg, backs Gallichan up. But Gallichan smart, steps back to the center of the ring.
Hey, man, Schwartzberg coming off that win over 7-0 is confident. Again, a simple combination for Gallichan, and you see he lands it. This could have been the ticket to an easier victory all night for Gallichan, but he did not keep up with it.
And Schwartzberg mentally shows no lack of effort, no lack of intensity.
No punching, no punching.
And once again, shows us his warrior spirit.
And I can speak to seeing it personally. Schwartzberg is in shape. I think he's been in the gym for weeks and months at a time now, and I've seen him do 6, 7, 8 rounds at a clip with multiple guys. The man came in shape. Oh, good timing, right slapping hook there from Schwartzberg.
From the southpaw stance.
And again, it's because Gallichan reaching in with that right hand.
Gallichan, as you both have talked about, has not set up a lot of his shots here tonight, which is why Schwartzberg really is fighting without a lot of fear.
And what's getting more disappointing about Gallichan is there's no urgency here. You know, it seems like Schwartzberg with a 3-11 record is fighting with more urgency than a kid 1-0 who's supposed to have his whole career set in front of him, you know?
Goldie, you said the magic word a few moments ago, effort. The effort is coming from Schwartzberg each and every round.
45 seconds on the clock here. Fourth and final round, our first of 3 fights on a Wednesday night.
And that jab to the stomach that Gallichan, he basically should put a stamp on it. He's basically mailing it in. He's coming in so slow.
Final 30 seconds.
I think he's a little gun shy because of the awkwardness of Schwartzberg and where those punches are coming from. I'm going to age myself a little bit here. I'm getting shades of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse from Schwartzberg right now.
Well, it's better than the new Roadhouse.
Well, let's not even talk about that.
Okay, Paulie. Like that wasn't obvious.
I'm a Patrick Swayze guy. Come on.
Oh, big right hand there from
Crazy
Gallichan.
for Swayze, right?
And Schwartzberg closes it strongly as well.
This is going to be an interesting scorecard.
Yeah,
and he'll probably take Patrick Swayze over Tommy Morrison as far as looks, too.
Yeah, I would.
But
But
not
that Tommy wasn't a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
That's a good point, champ.
If you can get compared to either of them, I think you're good, you know? Yeah. At least in their primes.
Paulie 1-0 over both of us, Chris. Better than the new Roadhouse. Like, there's no way he's talking about some notorious dude.
Well, you know what? I also, though, when I seen some of the remakes, I'm kind of always a fan of the old ones, you know? Like Point Break as well with Keanu Reeves is way better than the one they made a few years ago.
Here we see some of the action here. Both men trading. There's a big right hand from Schwartzberg. That was early in round number 2. There we see that left hook, which is probably the most consistent weapon that Gallichan was able to land throughout the night. As you mentioned, champ, no sign of the jab from Gallichan, even though he has got a pretty decent amateur background.
And what's more disappointing is the urgency. You see Schwartzberg's the one that's been chased the fight later on. Even though he didn't land everything, he chased and made the fight. There's a little right hook from the awkward change of stance of Schwartzberg. And you saw just a lot of posing on the part of Gallichan. And you see Schwartzberg just throwing him any which way. But again, putting Gallichan out of position, making him get on the defensive.
You mentioned it though. You got a guy who's 3-11 and 2. That's a 16-fight professional record against a guy 1-0. That's a big ask for the new pro Gallichan.
But in the very least, you're the new pro. You have to fight your way to it.
Yep.
You look good next time, but make sure you win. You
the new pro with a good amateur background.
Yeah,
too.
and Gallichan just kind of, was all right with this not controlling the pace, not controlling the fight. In the very least, say, okay, I'll look good next time, man, but let me actually fight this guy and make sure I win the fight.
And if Schwartzberg does get his arm raised, it will be 3 of the last 4 in which he has been victorious.
Now, let's see. It's going to be close.
We'll find out. The official decision is in. Here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Tito Wilgo scores the bout 40-36 Gallichan. Jed O'Connor and Michael Ross both score the bout 38-38. We have a majority draw. El combate es un empate.
Draw's not bad. Every round was close. One guy missed the fight. It's always a shame when one guy's sitting ringside like that. Yeah. He actually gets hired to judge the fight, and somehow he misses it. It's always a shame. With Tito Logo or something, I don't know what the name of the judge is, but that was, 40-36. That's one of those, I want to ask guys like that. I know we say, do you, if they put their scorecard in before, but I want to really ask, do you really fill out the scorecard before? Because how did you have that fight 40-36?
He might have mailed that one in last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he didn't show up today.
Did you just look at the records and say, this is going to be 40-36? I don't feel like watching it. Because you look at the records and it's not going to interest you. I don't know, bro. Tell the commissioner you don't want to work it. Tell the commissioner, hey man, can you put another judge on this fight? I don't know, man.
Well, it has happened before. Majority draw. Good to see Ryan the Lion again, as our first fight is in the books. With my powerful partners, the former 2-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. Now we are getting to the good stuff. Our main event with title ramifications, and our co-main event, Cristian Baez against Petros Ananyan. Both these guys, Paulie, are locked and loaded.
Oh, yeah, man. And Ananyan is a good prospect. Freddie Roach, as the champ was telling me earlier, really regards this guy high. And the opponent, Baez, listen, Venezuelans typically come punching. Baez, a big knockout record, started out his career hot, 18-0, lost 2 fights in a row, is coming off a win. So he's looking to get back on that hot track where with the knockout record, it always makes him dangerous. But Ananyan is a guy who, he's got a win over Subriel Matias, right, champ?
That's that's a huge win. I watched that fight back. Matias got the revenge in the rematch, but it was still a fight. I mean, Ananyan is a very capable guy, and I was speaking to Freddie Roach earlier today, and he's very high on this young man. He says he's one of the better guys in the gym, and a lot of the guys in the gym don't want to spar with him.
Yes. Well, you know what? It's always a big night here on ProBox TV. It's always a very special night when you have the great Freddie Roach cornering one of our fighters. Freddie has a lot of confidence in him, but Cristian Baez at 19-2 with 17 knockouts wants to steal the entire show, including the main event.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like these Venezuelans, a lot of times they come punching, and Baez, of course, living up to that reputation. You know, he's not only does he want to steal it, but in reality, I mean, he's looking to get himself back on a hot track. Like I said, he started out his career so hot before losing 2 in a row. Now he's got coming off a win. A win over Ananyan really puts him back on the seat where he wants to be.
Especially a win on versus this kind of guy on ProBox TV, where we get a lot of eyes. There's a lot of people watching here, and they're going to see. And these guys know that. That's why they bring their A game always.
You know, that is why they are watching every single day, 24/7, 365, because these two men verbally spar on frequent occasion. Our talk shows always entertaining.
I think whenever you get Mexican versus Mexican, the styles create action, and also there's more to fight for these guys when it's Mexican versus Mexican, because there's sort of that inner rivalry, that inner ego to dealing with that, So I think ultimately this winds up being a good fight.
And it's not just about getting the win. It's about bragging rights. It's about wearing your country banner and colors proudly. So I think both men are going to lay it on the line. Navarette is one of those guys. He's a destroyer. He just comes forward and wants to bang. He's hungry. He's mean. But I think Valdez, if he can get him into a fight and then kind of push and pull, get him into a fight and then box him, I think that he can stay ahead of Navarette. I think this is one of those fights where you should tell other people around you, like, hey, tune into this fight. You may like Champ Poliman, as you said, they might not be the most crossover names, but maybe this might be a good idea to tell your friends who may not be the most ardent fans. Hey, come check this fight out. It's probably going to be a really good one.
Agreed. We are in agreement there. So guys, please subscribe to ProBoxTV.com. We're called your boxing channel for a reason. You get content like this. You have these two great champions calling fights. It's got everything you want as a boxing fan.
And that fight in my backyard in Glendale, Arizona. All right, our co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds at a contracted weight of 144 pounds. Petros Ananyan, the Armenian, against Venezuela's Cristian Baez. Both men with big things on the line tonight. With the official introductions, here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled for 10 rounds in the super lightweight division. Esta pelea está pautada a 10 asaltos en el peso super ligero. Your judges for this bout, Los Jueces, Dennis Taban, Tito Wilgo, and Joanne Richard. Your referee, El Arbitro, Michael De Jesus. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the gray with black. En la esquina azul, con pantalones gris y negro, pesando 144 libras, weighing in at 144 pounds. His record, 19 wins, just 2 losses with 17 big wins by knockout, con récord 19 victorias, 2 derrotas, con 17 por la vía del knockout. From San Jose, California, please welcome Cristian Baez. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks, en la esquina rojo con pantalones negro, pesando 143.4 libras, weighing in at 143.4 pounds. His record, 17 wins, 3 losses with 8 wins by knockout, con récord 17 victorias, 3 derrotas, con 8 por la vía del knockout. From Los Angeles, California, he is Petros Ananyan.
Ya dije todo en el rincón y en el locker room. I already told you everything in the rules, in the locker room, and in the court. No, I expect. Touch gloves if you want to, toca guantes si quieren, para tapar el rincón.
Our tale of the tape for this, our co-main event of the evening. The Armenian, 3 years the elder of the Venezuelan. He is taller, will have a slight reach advantage. Co-main event scheduled for 10 rounds. Here we go. It's time to fight. Gray and black trunks for the southpaw, Cristian Baez. In the black trunks, Petros Ananyan. Trained by Freddie Roach, Armenian-born Russian national who has lived in the U.S. for many years now. Baez, one of the bigger punchers in this division. All but 2 of his 19 victories have been by knockout.
I will say a lot of those fights did come at lightweight, 135 pounds. I saw both men walking around our campus the last 2 days. Ananyan is definitely the bigger man of the 2.
Trains in San Jose, California. Actually, in the Santa Clara area, right by the San Francisco 49ers headquarters.
And that's something that Ananyan does really well. He changes speed really well. He kind of moseys his way in and then explodes with the right hand over the top. We just saw that. That's part of his style. He's a physically strong guy. Wouldn't say he's the fastest guy, but he changes up speeds quite well.
Well, it's sort of like a baseball pitcher. If you mix it up just right, you can still be dangerous. Good little exchange there. Yeah, I mean, Maddox didn't throw 100 miles an hour, but he changed up his pitches so well that he was very effective as a pitcher. Then Ananyan kind of similar in that way, and that he's not the fastest guy, like you said, Champ, but he changed up the speed pretty well. Good exchange there.
Dwight Gooden did just throw 100 miles an hour pretty much every pitch.
Some guys, Mariano Rivera. Yeah.
There you go.
You know, for everybody watching at home, watch these guys as they're fighting for control of the center of the ring. They've switched several times, and who's on the ropes, who's in the center, both of them vying for that position.
Baez coming off a very impressive win over Mayweather fighter Kevin Johnson, a 10-round unanimous decision victory, which was on the heels of the fight against Ruben Torres when he was knocked out in a very unsportsmanlike fashion. If you haven't seen it, it went viral and it was nasty.
Yeah, it was a nasty touch gloves left hook situation that put Baez on his back for the count. A lot of people questioning whether that was clean or not.
Maybe within the rules, Chris, clean would be something you would have to debate, I would say.
Well, boxing can be a dirty sport at times.
It was with that hook. First of 10 here in our co-main event of the evening. 17 wins as a professional for 34-year-old Petros Ananyan. Cristian Baez, 19 wins at age 31.
Baez flashing that power early, and you're seeing him from that southpaw position. He's doing a good job of what I call staying invisible. He's staying outside that lead foot of Ananyan. Ananyan making a little bit of a mistake and pulling back straight, which can open up that power left hand for Baez.
Yeah, and a good body shot there about 20 seconds ago by Baez, right hook to the body.
Eso es todo. En cuanto veas que te está cortando la distancia, muévete. Eso es lo que tienes que hacer, ¿eh? Pero esa derecha, esa izquierda me la estás bajando un poquito,
Nice combination there from Ananyan. He puts the 2 down low to the pit of the stomach, comes up tall with the left hook after, and there's that right hook to the body you were talking about, Champ.
Yeah.
At the end of the round.
Yeah, and he gets his foot on the outside, like you said, so he's able to position it well and get it off.
No question, Baez can fight. He knows what he's doing in there from that southpaw position, and he did flash that power.
Seconds out. Out, please.
Petros Ananyan
Second round.
wants to start to get many more fights per calendar year than he has in his career. This is his first fight of 2023. His last fight was 301 days ago. In fact, he had 2 fights in 2022, 1 fight in 2021, and only 1 in 2020, only 2 in 2019. So looking to make up for some lost time. Ananyan is in the black trunks, and the southpaw Cristian Baez in the gray and black trunks. Round number 2.
This is the 3rd fight of Ananyan's career with the famed Freddie Roach in his corner. Let's see how the adjustments can fly round to round.
And that's the thing, man. You can't take too many risky chances against a guy like Baez because he hits hard. He's got the big punch and power.
There's that looping left-hand shot.
So you want to set it up accordingly.
Hey, you mentioned the Venezuelans usually come in with good power. You're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of them, sure, a lot of their records are padded down there, but then they come here and they bring the power with them.
I feel like it's a lot of South America in general, even Argentinians, Colombians.
Argentinians, yep. Very true.
Brazilians.
Brazilians, yes. Usually not the classiest boxers, but they tend to have a punch.
Yes, indeed. Maybe it's not always in a boxing glove. You don't want to doubt the power of a guy like Junior Dos Santos or Shogun Rua and many others.
But on top of that power, you know, you can see Baez, he's pretty smooth, too.
Yeah.
The way that he's in there, he's staying very relaxed.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job being a ring general and placing at Ananyan where he wants him.
And you talked about the battle for control of the ring, you know, but Baez is starting to, you know, take control of that and making an Ananyan fight where Baez wants to fight and not where Ananyan wants to fight. Ananyan now managed to get himself back to center ring, but it's that real estate battle still going on, and it's a psychological battle as well as a physical battle.
You know, I noticed, champ, is Baez, even though he's on the outside, he's more comfortable there. Like, even though he's not controlling the center and Ananyan spending more time there, he's doing well on the outside as well.
Very proud Venezuelan, his nickname inspired by his home country of Venezuela, Guaico. He was finished in both of the losses. One was the questionable shot by Ruben Torres. The other was to 19-2 Luis Lopez. Perfect in all of his other 17 fights. Trying to come over the top with the left. Good compact combination there.
We talked about change of speed on Ananyan, but also Baez too. Baez will touch something and all of a sudden shoot something really hard with a lot of weight behind it. You know, he'll mix it up as well.
And a lot of that comes from Baez staying so relaxed. He looks very, very calm, picking his punches well.
The great Freddie Roach in the corner of Petros Ananyan.
Dame el agua. Está abajo.
Put it outside, go with that lead right hand right down the middle, okay? Okay. With that right hand, come back with the hook for me, okay? Okay. That's it for you.
Good round from Baez. That second round was able to pick his spots well, finding the holes in Ananyan's defense. There we see a nice left uppercut. Again, he's not putting a ton on it, but he's threading it through the guard. And even Ananyan gave him a little look like, hey, that was a nice tricky shot.
Big Armenian population, of course, in Los Angeles, especially in the backyard of the world-famous Wild Card Gym. Round number 3 of our co-main event of the evening.
Also, Pepe Riley in the corner of Ananyan. He's a 92 Olympian.
Yep.
Saw him doing his road work earlier today when Paulie and I went to get ours in. He was already out there running.
I did road work too. I drove,
all the Xboxes, you know?
I drove from the hotel over here on the road, so I got my road work
there
in
you go.
too.
Once a fighter, always a fighter. Once a hockey player, always a hockey player,
exactly
right? Right, Goldie?
That's exactly right.
Baez checks for a cut as a clash of heads. That's another thing we're going to have to, in this fight as well, is that lefty versus righty matchup. We got to be careful with the clashes of heads, especially with these guys who are starting to inch closer and closer and fighting each other at closer range.
You know, something I've noticed from Ananyan's past fights, he tends to get into brawls more than he needs to. He did that in the Subriel Matias fight, the first fight, and it worked out well. Did not work out in the rematch, though.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you want to get yourself into a brawl with a guy who's got 17 KOs and 19 wins as well. You got to pick your shots better. Especially if Baez, like you said, is starting to get comfortable and starting to pick his shots a little bit more fluidly.
A couple years ago, Ananyan got into a war with a local Bronx fighter, Daniel Gonzalez, and those guys are going back and forth, standing in the middle of the ring, banging each other around. A fight that he probably could have made a lot easier, but got dragged into a war.
And that fight was in the middle of the 2 fights with Matias, and still Ananyan the only man to beat Matias, and he was stopped in the rematch as we talked about.
I'll tell you that Baez is going with that left hand to the body from the southpaw stance. He's been throwing it a lot. He's been getting it in. It's been one of his more effective shots. There it is again, another nice shot there to the body with the left hand. And Ananyan's going to have to either start watching it a little bit or maybe look to catch and shoot, make sort of an adjustment, or maybe change range. Baez is starting to set it up more and more and is landing pretty effectively, consistently. And that's going to take a toll if he keeps doing that.
Right on cue there, champ. Yeah, as you mentioned it, he threw it. And that's a tough spot because that's going to the liver side. It's the rear hand, but from a southpaw position, that's the liver side on the right.
Yeah, that's where the righties get you with those hooks to the body.
Yep.
And the lefties will sometimes do it as well.
And left hook's a left hook, whether it comes from the front or the back.
There it is again.
Yeah, very tricky shot.
But I feel like, Ananyan, there's an opportunity there to catch and shoot with it on the counter. Or if he keeps that elbow in tight, Baez throws it a little bit wide, you can maybe catch it on the arm and shoot back with your own right hand. But nothing coming back on the side of Ananyan. And it could also be because Baez sometimes mixes that left hand to the head, so it makes it hard to time if he's going to go to his body or to the head with it.
And that's a tricky shot, too, because you get touched with a couple of those, and it makes you pin your right arm. Kind of takes it away. The guy, you don't want to get it away from home because you're going to get hit with that shot.
Champ, you read my mind. I was just going to say, it ends up making Ananyan not throw his right hand, and he's not really been as active with the right hand, and it's allowed Baez to start, like you said earlier, taking control of the real estate in the ring.
It's like whoever you were talking to on the phone hung up an hour ago, Chris, but you're not going to take the phone off your ear.
Yeah, keep that phone at home.
You got it. Freddie Roach, one of the greatest of all time, 8 division world champion. Manny Pacquiao, of course, 5-time 4-division world champion. Miguel Cotto, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and worked with George St. Pierre for a while.
Here we see some more action from Navarette. There's that exact shot we were talking about, champ.
Yep. And it's been the go-to shot for Baez. There's another one there. That was right on the liver side.
Those ones hurt when you're stretched out like that and you're throwing it and it hits you. Those are brutal.
And Ananyan not showing it in his body language that he's bothered, but he's going to have to show a little bit something more here if he's going to win this fight.
Well, he may not be showing it in his body language or maybe his face, but in terms of his output and return fire, he is showing it.
Yeah, good point. And as the fight wears on, if he keeps taking those kind of shots, it's going to start to affect him more and more. Especially, like I said, you want to start to counter some of those shots on Baez so that you at least make him gun shy or not as confident to throw them.
Speaking of Freddie Roach, I remember when I fought Ruslan Provodnikov and Freddie was opposite the corner and me, Ruslan hit me with a left hook and smashed my orbital. From then on, I kept my right hand pinned to that punch. Took my right hand away. I barely used my right hand in that fight because I had to protect myself from that left hook.
Phone home, right?
Yep, phone home. Phone home or go home.
And you're mad at Freddie because he taught your opponent that punch, right?
Nah, me and Freddie are we're cool. We're cool. I got the win that night, so
there you go.
I can't be that mad.
There you go. Broken orbital or not, right?
Yeah, he got it back though in the Pacquiao fight.
And Baez still getting more and more active with that left hand, and Ananyan no answer for it.
Freddie always a joy to visit with, to talk to.
Oh, good left hand over the top from Baez.
But his fighter starting to take some big punches from the Venezuelan Cristian Baez.
At least Ananyan tried that counter right hand there, and although now he's gone right to the southpaw stance from there.
Baez a lot trickier than I saw on tape. He is looking very smooth tonight.
And you see he's making Ananyan miss right from close range, which can really bother you because you can't get the guy off you, and yet you're not able to hit him the way you want to hit him.
Black trunks for Petros Ananyan, 17-3-2 with 8 finishes. Gray and black trunks for Cristian Baez, 19-2 with 17 knockouts.
Yeah, we spoke about urgency in the last fight. You mentioned it a couple times, champ, about Schwartzberg and Gallichan. I mean, we're looking into that kind of territory with Ananyan in here because he's going to have to make something happen.
Yeah, and he seems like he's sort of out of answers. You know, he turned southpaw a few seconds ago. Didn't really do anything out of the southpaw stance. Now he's back on the right-handed stance. But again, Baez throwing those left hands consistently and really not having to pay any kind of price for throwing them and not having to, you're not creating doubt in Baez's ability to throw a left hand. There's a good right hand by Ananyan. He needs more of that.
Baez took it well, though. There's another left hook to the body. Jeez. He sneaks that in nice.
He really, and that's the perfect way to say it, partner. He sneaks it in.
And that's one thing, you know, when you got a guy in front of you who's got good power, and he's consistently landing, but also you're not landing back. He's making you miss. So it's one thing, maybe if he's not hurting you or you're not showing it, but then also you're not able to get it back.
But you got to break up the rhythm. Like I said, you're not. Then another good body shot. You're not bringing up the rhythm, so you're not countering. Maybe drop some feints, change the look, change the distance, do something. I mean, it's Ananyan's on the same gear all the time. Whatever gear he's fighting in, which is like second or third gear, he's staying in that gear, and he's not really changing it. And Baez has the timing on this gear already.
And Baez hasn't missed in about the last 30 to 40 seconds.
See the confidence of Baez growing moment by moment, especially here.
Great finish to the round for Cristian Baez.
Great start to the fight for Cristian Baez. I think he's been in control throughout.
Yeah, and you see the rhythm Baez is in now. And that's another thing those feints will do. If you drop those feints, maybe it'll break up that rhythm a little bit. You know, you need to do something to break up that confidence, but also break up that rhythm because Baez works in that rhythm.
And of course, we always bring you boxing 24/7, 365. Always bring you the top stories. Last week, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. I say, Paulie, and you and I texted, I love Jake's attitude, but I don't think Jake wants to go MMA against Nathan.
Nah, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I don't think that lasts very long.
I see a
basically
guillotine, with the double flip again, like we saw earlier from the former Ultimate Fighter winner. But they put on a show, and many watched, which is what it's all about. Our co-main event continues. Our main event still to come. Main event scheduled for 12 rounds, a super featherweight matchup between Otar Eranosyan and Roger Gutierrez. Fifth round between Ananyan and Baez. Ananyan in the black trunks, Baez in the gray and black trunks.
Ooh, very low shot.
Paulie talked about urgency a while back, and you're at the midway point of the fight, and already you need to put something on that gas pedal if you're Petros Ananyan.
Yeah, I mean, beyond the first round, it's going to be really hard to give a round to Ananyan at this point. Even the first round, you probably could have gave to Baez.
Ananyan represented Russia in the amateurs, an Armenian-born Russian national.
Now you're starting to see the effect, that body shot. You saw Ananyan pull away from that fight, that left hook to the liver. He doesn't want to get hit with that shot anymore.
And that's what we were talking about. You eventually start to see some of the results showing themselves if those body shots continue to land. Good right hand by Ananyan.
But answered by a nice long combination by Baez.
That short little counter right hand by Ananyan is the only punch he's been able to consistently land. I mean, I think he's landed 2 or 3 of them, but it's a nice short shot. Looks like hard, too. Looks like a hard shot.
And he's not following it up, really, so Baez is able to come right back. See, the consistency, even when Ananyan does do something good here and there, the consistency stays with Baez. And that's what I mean about Ananyan needed to do something, anything, to break up this rhythm of Baez.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see some hesitation from Ananyan. He's worried about that body shot. It's starting to freeze him at times. He's not moving his head afterwards.
Ananyan just landed a body shot on Baez, but Baez seemed unfazed.
I think part of that comes from Baez just being so calm.
Yeah.
He's very, very calm, rolling with these shots.
Great economy of motion.
Yes.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, guys, but if this fight still keeps going like this, I hope the judges are watching the fight and not the fact that Freddie Roach is in the corner.
Yeah.
This is not a state that gets Freddie Roach that often, so I'm just going to put that out there now and hope that I'm just being wild in my thoughts.
That would be a shame because Baez is really putting on a wonderful performance so far. Oof. That was heavy. I don't know if you guys at home can hear it, but these are heavy shots.
And in our earlier version of Siskel, Ebert, and Molinaggi, Roadhouse 1, yes, Roadhouse 2, with your favorite Irishman, Magic Man, not so much.
Body shot combination by Baez, man. And Siskel, Ebert, and then there was Roper, no?
Yep, it was very nice. We are all old, aren't we?
Yeah, geez. As soon as I understood that, I was like, oh, boy.
The youngins aren't going to know what we're talking about.
Oh,
right hand by Ananyan. Again, once in a while you see it, but nothing to follow up, really. He attempted it there, he missed.
Now, some of that urgency is starting to come out of Ananyan.
But again, is it going to be urgency with effort, or are you going to put some skill behind the will? You know, because you're gonna have to figure out ideas to put Baez in bad situations. It's not just going to be effort. See some of the action here. Previous round, we're talking about that left hand by Baez. You see tripled it up there, 3 shots in a row by Baez. And he gets close, he makes it count. He takes those shots right there. Left hand to the chest and the right hook to the body. That's been something consistent as well. And then, of course, the same shot with a different angle and ended with a left hook to the head at the end. Again, the triple shot there from a different angle from Baez. He's throwing these left hands from all kinds of weird angles, and the versatility on the differentiation on those shots prevents Ananyan from being able to time them.
Co-main event Wednesday night fights on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. Petros Ananyan, Cristian Baez. Round number 6.
Made a great point, Champ, about taking advantage of the opportunities. How often do we see guys close the distance, get to where they want to be, and then don't throw? Baez is not doing that. Baez is taking advantage fully of every opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of times guys getting close and allow themselves to be put in a clinch or just don't throw the shots. But Baez has been consistently taking advantage of the opportunities. And it's going to be up to Ananyan, not just with effort, but he's going to have to think his way through this. Baez is not the kind of guy you're going to beat just with putting effort. You're going to have to think of a nice hook.
That was a big hook landed by the southpaw, Cristian Baez.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to take more than just effort, because if you're going to put effort, you're actually going to walk into shots like Ananyan did there with Baez. He knows he's behind Ananyan, so he's trying to, you know, fight with some urgency. But if it's just effort and not thinking, you're going to walk into the power of Baez.
Oh,
and all the body shots landed by Baez. Sooner or later, Cristian knew that hook was going to be wide open to land, and he does it again.
Say what you will about Ananyan, he's got to be in phenomenal shape because he's been taking a lot of body shots.
He is definitely known as a very strong, durable, tough Armenian. Good jab.
It's kind of redundant.
Yeah, it
tough,
is.
strong Armenian. I think they all are.
Exactly. Find a couple that aren't.
We got one in the main event, right? Georgian Armenian.
Yep.
And a Venezuelan, right? Yeah, we got a Venezuelan and an Armenian in the main event.
Otar Eranosyan.
That's the rivalry tonight.
Apparently.
Although Eranosyan's born in Georgia.
Right.
He's Armenian by genetics.
Not Atlanta.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. Thanks for clearing that up.
I am good in my role of Captain Obvious, you guys. Baez so relaxed, so impressive to watch.
And you see that left 1-2 down the middle, and then Ananyan says bring it. So this time on the return fire by Baez, on the follow-up, it's a jab and then a left uppercut instead of down the middle straight. That's what I mean about he's mixing it up, and then now a big left hand straight by Baez again. That's what I mean. He's been mixing up those left hands, guys.
Yeah, Baez is a true southpaw. You can tell he is left-handed, but he doesn't disregard his right hand. He sets up those left hands, but he mixes them up beautifully.
In 22 professional bouts, going back to what Chris talked about, the toughness of the Armenian, Petros Ananyan has only been stopped one time.
By one of the baddest guys in the division, Subriel Matias.
Right, who he holds the only victory against. The IBF junior welterweight champion since February.
And Champ, you made a good point about Baez doesn't disregard the right hand. As a matter of fact, he uses it very well when Ananyan rushes in. Baez a lot of times times him with that right hook and stops that momentum.
Yeah, he found that about 3 rounds ago, and he's been landing it.
Ananyan tried to put more effort that round. I don't know if he won it though. Baez did some good work in response.
Very dangerous. There's that shot we just spoke about. Very dangerous to allow a guy like Baez, who has power, to get comfortable. Because in the early on, you know, he wasn't exactly sure of his style. He was smooth, but now he's very confident, very comfortable with what's in front of him, and is starting to really set down on those shots. When you see a guy timing you with a right hook from the outside, you know, that spells trouble.
Set for round number 7 of our co-main event. Talked about our main event still to come. In 2 weeks, our main event will feature 2 fighters with a combined record of 25-0. Leonardo Ruiz and Raul Garcia. Mike Goldberg, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. Wednesday night fights on your boxing channel. ProBox TV from our world headquarters. Still to come, there it is. The main event, the winner becomes the mandatory for a shot at a belt. (13-0), Otar Eranosyan facing by far, or set to face by far, the toughest test of his professional career. Body head from Baez.
And Ananyan has to be careful going straight back like that. That's where Baez is able to repeat those left hands.
This fight, I'm getting the feeling that this is going to come down to conditioning now in these last 3.5 rounds.
And Ananyan's actually trying to push in more effort, trying to test Baez's conditioning himself now.
Landed that right hand again a moment ago. Sticking that jab up in the face of his opponent, then coming across with the left.
Yeah, when Ananyan holds his ground like right there with shots.
That buckled him.
He hurt him. Baez hurt.
He's still hurt.
Bad, yep.
Wow. That's what Ananyan needed.
What drama. He's hurt. He might not make it. That's it.
It is all over.
Wow.
Petros Ananyan finishes Cristian Baez. All it took was one big shot.
He's still hurt. Wow,
You know, that's why I mentioned that the conditioning was going to play a part, because I saw the steam started to come up Baez immediately in that round.
And you made a great point earlier in the fight, champ, when you talked about Ananyan's conditioning, because he's the one that took the body shots. You would have thought Ananyan would have been the one who maybe would have faded the second half of the fight. But Ananyan started growing just with the effort. He started pushing more effort, and Baez totally, just from that effort, despite the fact that the skill wasn't really displaying so much from Ananyan, he was able to start to fatigue Baez. And there's a big hook. That led to that big hook, guys.
It started with that short right hand that we spoke about earlier. That was the consistent shot. Very, very short, straight right hand down the middle that was catching Baez on the chin from Ananyan, and then he followed up this time. Last time you said he wasn't following up. This time he did. And it was the left hook that had Baez in a world of hurt. Came back to the body, too. And that was it. Baez was very, very hurt.
Yeah, and Goldie, you mentioned, that's the hook right there. Oof, big shot there. Goldie, you mentioned that Baez has been stopped twice in his losses. So, you know, questionable chin. He's got the skills almost, you know, guys just come up just short. Sometimes you're missing just one little intangible. And with Baez, it could be the chin. I mean, in a fight that we had him pretty much way ahead in the fight, just gone. I mean, one knockdown and he's gone.
And it was that right hand that little by little he started to land more and more.
Not for nothing. I mean, Petros looked confident in himself throughout the night. He wasn't like didn't look like he was like, oh man.
Well, I'm not going to go as far as to say confident, but I will say this. I remember I said earlier a few rounds, his body language wasn't changing. Like, it was like, okay, I might be behind, but I'm not really worrying about it. And I was going to say, all right, well, when are you going to see? Previous to this round, he gave a little bit more effort, and all of a sudden it caused Baez's energy to just diminished just enough, then he started getting caught.
It took immediate advantage.
Tough, strong, durable Armenian. I know it's redundant, but you just saw. And he will get his arm raised. Official decision from Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael DeJesus reaches the count of 10 at 1 minute, 41 seconds of the 7th round. Your winner by knockout, el ganador por knockout, Petros Ananyan.
Huge win for Petros Ananyan. His 9th career knockout. In a fight where he was behind on the scorecards.
We assume.
That's true. I am learning that more and more each week with you, Paulie. But maybe 2 of the scorecards, maybe not that other.
But look, Baez is the kind of guy, now he's 19-3, 3 lost 3 of his last 4. Meantime, this is a dangerous guy. Boxing's a crazy sport.
Yeah, boxing is a crazy sport. Yeah, I mean, I had him up 7-0, and then he comes back and literally with one exchange erases all of the good work that Baez had done all night long. And here we're going to see, basically this is going to be a one-sided showing of Baez highlights all night until the end-all highlight from Ananyan.
Yeah, Ananyan gets the last laugh with his highlight. But all night, I mean, it was a really good display of versatility and differentiation of the attack on the part of Baez, body and head, mixing the right hooks and the left hands. And Ananyan never stopped trying, never, like you said, and we were talking about, never changed his body language, and then boom, this big hook, and all of a sudden, Baez is hurt tremendously and never recovers.
He did a great job that night mixing up those punches, because he landed that short, crisp right hook, right cross, comes back with a big left hook, and then went right back down to the body.
And Baez didn't even try to hold. He tried to run away. When you got no legs, you got to go to your opponent and try to grab him, not try to get away, because with no legs, you're not going to be able to get away.
Yeah.
And Baez went right to the ground when he went up against the ropes.
Well, he pulls off the victory in a big one in that. Mike Goldberg, Chris Algieri, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, set for our main event of the evening. And ever since we first saw him on ProBox TV, Otar Eranosyan has entertained. He will continue to entertain tonight. He is a ton of fun to watch.
Man, I tell you what, styles make fights. Eranosyan is a fun guy to watch. Guiterrez is a fun guy to watch. They both are guys who look to make the action, create the action, and both guys have that winning mentality. There's a lot on the line tonight, so you're able to win. You seal yourself in a world title shot. And both of these guys have the record and are in a prime part of their career where they know if they can win this fight, they got a good chance at winning that world title.
And Chris, like we talked about in the open of the show, to get to a world championship fight, many times you've got to defeat a former world champion. That's what Gutierrez is for Eranosyan tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of times these guys, these prospects going into contendership will fight a faded world champion. Gutierrez is not one of those guys.
Right.
He is a very live ex-champion who's looking to be champion once again. He needs a win here, Gutierrez, in order to get another title shot, and that's what's on his mind.
And that's the thing, when you fight those faded ex-champions, they're usually developmental fights along the way, right? You get up to you beat your fellow journeyman, you beat the opponents in the journeyman, and then you start working into ex-contenders, ex-world title challengers. This is not a developmental fight. This is a world title eliminator, so of course it's going to be a test.
And scheduled for 12 rounds, the first 12-rounder in the professional career of Otar Eranosyan. Both men are ready to go. Great face-off, great intensity from both fighters. And we are excited to see this matchup because, yes, there is a title on the line as a mandatory going to the winner of our main event of the evening. And, that just adds to what we're doing here on ProBox TV. We've always tried to bring you entertaining fights. Tonight we have an entertaining fight at another level, Chris, because, we're getting towards those world championships.
And you spoke about the never-ending gas tank of Otar Eranosyan. This is his first 12-rounder. Let's see how never-ending that gas tank really is. But either way, I think that we have got a great fight ahead of us, and I'm jacked up. I'm excited.
You and I both. This bout is the mandatory for the WBA super featherweight title, currently held by the Dominican Hector Luis Garcia. Garcia competed at the 2016 Olympic Games. Who will be the next to fight? Garcia with the belt on the line. Of course, Garcia's only loss was to Tank.
Tenía 10 años cuando comencé en esto del boxeo. Mi papá fue el que me llevó al primer gimnasio allá en Maracaibo, Venezuela, donde me crié, donde crecí. Y bueno, de ahí empezó todo esta aventura del boxeo. Mi nombre es Roger Gutierrez, soy de Maracaibo, Venezuela.
I'm so happy representing my country, Georgia, because it's so small country. I start boxing because I love it fight. I fight it in the street, in the school, everywhere. My name is Otar Eranosyan.
Es el momento de volver a llegar al título mundial para reconquistar mi título y yo creo que eso es algo grande. Gracias de verdad a ProBox por esta oportunidad de mi primer paso hacia el título del mundo. Por eso me preparé al máximo. Ya tengo 1 mes y 10 días acá en Miami entrenando. Me siento demasiado fuerte, demasiado bien para estar en pelea.
I have to win this fight, and then I have to win title fight. Because I am the best 130 pound. I am the king 130 pound.
sin menospreciar a Otar, es un gran peleador, por algo está número 2 del mundo y peleando en la eliminatoria, ¿no? Pero las estadísticas no hablan por sí solas. Fui campeón del mundo, he tenido guerras, he peleado con peleadores de más nivel, soy un pegador, soy más fuerte que Otar y como te dije, primero que todo me preparé al máximo para esta gran pelea, pero tengo todo para ganar esta pelea y por nocaut.
For ProBox, it's gonna be my maybe 4 or 5 fight. Yeah, I have a lot of fight in the ProBox. Good, nice people, good show. I want to become the world champion and professional. This is my idea. For this fight, I'm ready for 12 rounds, of course. Maybe I can stop him, maybe 7 or 8 rounds. It's gonna be a good fight. Now it's gonna be different boxing. You will see.
No es caer, sino es levantarse y seguir avanzando. Pero defiendo su apodo de Pitbull, que esté ahí peleando conmigo, que cuando sienta mi poder no salga a correr en el ring. Espero una guerra, me preparé para esto y vamos a darle a la gente lo que paga por ver un show.
Hi, Roger Gutierrez. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna knock out you, bro. You don't have a chance. I'm the best. Get ready. See you tonight.
Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. It is 29-year-old Otar Eranosyan against 28-year-old Roger Gutierrez. Big difference in the height, but not in the reach, as the winner will face the Dominican Hector Luis Garcia. 12 rounds in the super featherweight division. Eranosyan, Guiterrez, with the official introductions, Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event of the evening. 12 rounds in the super featherweight division. Está en el evento principal, pelea portada a 12 asaltos en el peso superpluma. The winner of this bout will fight for the WBA World Championship. El ganador peleará por el campeonato mundial WBA. Your judges for this bout, Los Jueces, Michael Tate, Jed O'Connor, and Michael Ross. Your referee in charge, El Arbitro, is Christopher Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks, en la esquina azul con pantalones blanco, pesando 129.8 libras, weighing in at 129.8 pounds, with a record of 27 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, with 21 wins by knockout. Con récord 27 victorias, 4 derrotas, 1 empate, con 20 por la vía del knockout. From Maracaibo, Venezuela, the number 6 ranked super featherweight in the world by the WBA, número 6 del mundo por la WBA, the former WBA super featherweight champion of the world, el ex WBA campeón mundial de peso superpluma, the Kid, Roger Gutierrez. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gold with black, en la esquina rojo con pantalones dorado y negro, pesando 129.4 libras, weighing in at 129.4 pounds. He is undefeated with a record of 13 wins, no losses, 6 wins by knockout, con récord 13 victorias, 0 derrotas, con 6 por la vía del knockout. From Hollywood, Florida, ranked number 2 in the world by the WBA, número 2 del mundo por la WBA, Otar Pitbull Eranosyan.
12-round main event of the evening here on ProBox TV.
Okay, red corner, blue corner. All right, Jim, you know what time it is. It's the WBA title eliminator. So you know what to do. Fight hard, fight clean, touch him up.
Otar Eranosyan, Roger Gutierrez. The winner will fight Hector Luis Garcia for the WBA Super Featherweight World Championship. Scheduled for 12 rounds.
Red corner, you ready? Red corner, you ready?
Here we go. It's time to fight. Gold and black trunks for Pitbull, Otar Eranosyan. The white trunks for the kid, Roger Gutierrez.
And like you mentioned, Goldie, Armenia and Venezuela, right?
You got that right.
Georgian Armenian. Oh, hook by Eranosyan.
Yeah, Gutierrez landed a nice right hook, and then Eranosyan answered with a nice left hook.
And Eranosyan, as always, entering the ring in the papuka.
And that's the thing, Eranosyan is a very enthusiastic fighter. He's always he's going to be looking to answer anything you do. And Guiterrez is good enough to do a lot, which is going to make it an interesting fight because a guy like Eranosyan, like I said, likes to answer everything. And, of course, even get off first as he's trying to there.
You know, Goldie, you made point of the tail of the tape that Venezuelan Guiterrez has a height advantage but does not have much of a reach advantage. You see the height, and I think that could really play out in a lot of different ways that could help Eranosyan.
Oh, nicely done. Lands one, turns the corner quickly.
Yeah, nice little pivot move there by Eranosyan and set up that little left uppercut. You know, he's got a bunch of amateur experience. You know, this is a good match on paper here.
Two-time silver medalist at the European Championships.
That inside work by Eranosyan, that's going to be really important for him to establish the dominance on the inside. Good sweeping hook from Guiterrez.
And Guiterrez with 21 finishes of his 27 professional victories. Sneaky uppercut once and twice by Eranosyan.
And I think Guiterrez is going to have to be a little busier with that jab, those straight shots, because Eranosyan is finding the entrance into the pocket too easily for my liking. As far as if I'm on Team Guiterrez. And on the inside, Eranosyan is very creative with the way he changes angles and creates openings.
Guiterrez actually does have a good jab. He jabs moving backwards quite well. Obviously, he's got a big right hand. You see that already. He's flashed it a few times. But he's allowing Eranosyan to walk right in the front door.
He's got to be a bit busier with that jab.
He's got to establish that critical distance line.
And again, he doesn't do it, and look.
Oh, and again, right up the middle with the uppercut.
And again, Eranosyan with that creative moves inside, finding those openings. He's very astute.
Creative moves again, but also creative punch variation. Picking those spots very nicely. Finding the holes immediately in the defense of Guiterrez.
And that's that experience. That amateur experience goes a long way, and Eranosyan has a lot of it.
13-0 as a professional, facing the 7th straight opponent with a winning record. This one, 27-4-1.
The biggest thing I noticed.
Big counter right, and that hurt him. Great start for Otar Eranosyan.
I was going to say, the biggest thing I noticed in preparing for this fight is the difference in foot speed. Eranosyan very quick off the first step, cuts his angles very nicely. And Guiterrez very slow with his plotting, walking, moves his upper body faster than his lower body, sometimes gets himself off balance.
Eranosyan was very effective with uppercuts with both hands last round, and there's the right hand uppercut on the inside there. See some of those shots as Guiterrez makes the mistake of going straight back. Eranosyan follows him to the ropes where he lands another right hand uppercut. There's a left hand uppercut inside.
Eranosyan, not known as a puncher, but when you land punches this clean, consistently to open the fight, I mean, you got to make a change here. You can't take these punches all night long.
Yeah, and I think that the initial change has to be Gutierrez's jab. I mean, if he's got a good jab, he's got to establish it, because Eranosyan came out of the, don't get me wrong, came out of the gates with good head movement so that he was going to work his way inside. He was intending to work his way inside, but then really he didn't have to really work his way to get inside. He could just walk right in the front door.
And you got to get respect.
Oh!
Speaking of getting respect.
That's respect.
Yep. And Gutierrez came out swinging at the start of round 2.
I mentioned the big right hand in that first round.
Eranosyan came out swinging too.
Yep.
And ended up on the canvas. Yeah, because I was before I got cut off. What I was saying there is, if you don't get respect from a guy like Eranosyan, he's going to run in the front door and bully you and beat you up and mug you, basically. But that power.
Gutierrez is getting that respect right here.
Right hand again. Hurts Eranosyan.
Eranosyan, perfect professional record.
Big hook.
Hit by the hook.
Aye.
Big round
Big
2
shot.
for the kid.
I would say respect gotten.
We got another ProBox TV dandy, guys.
Again, I was going to say we got ourselves a fight, but we got ourselves another great Wednesday night fight.
What else is new, guys?
You got that right.
We got the best job.
Best job, best seat on your home for boxing. ProBox TV.
Listen, world-class power is a different thing.
Yes.
Gutierrez has it. He's been a world champion. He's been there before. He understands how important this fight is.
When we talk about Venezuelans having that power, well, there's another one.
Every right hand touches Eranosyan. He's feeling all the way down to his toes. Yeah, Gutierrez is just loading up, looking for that shot.
And Gutierrez with those great fights against Alvarado years ago. Now Otar Eranosyan trying to work his way back into what has started out as a big round for Roger Gutierrez.
Big swelling under the right eye of Eranosyan. That's a mistake that Gutierrez makes often. He backs out straight with his left hand down and pulls up
and up high.
Yes.
Yep.
And again with the uppercut.
And then when he runs out of room, he takes the uppercuts because he stays squared up against the ropes. So
he's a very He's a very front foot heavy fighter, so that uppercut's going to be there all night long. Aye.
Over the top of the right,
again.
just missed.
This is a firefight, guys.
You got that right. Man, that sneaky uppercut is the go-to tonight for the Pitbull. It's not even sneaky anymore.
I'll tell you, Eranosyan doing the work inside, but I at least like it. Gutierrez is making him earn his way inside this time. But once he gets inside, Eranosyan's still doing some very good work.
Let him go. Let him go.
Good recovery by
Let him go. He calls that.
By Otar Eranosyan after the big start to the round by Gutierrez.
That was a smartly placed left hook from Gutierrez. There it is again.
Boom! You could hear that one, guys.
Oh, we got to fight.
There's a world title fight on the line. It goes to the winner.
This is the kind of fight that prepares you for a world title fight. You know what? You go through this kind of fire, this kind of fight, you're prepared to fight for a world title.
Yeah, regardless who comes out on top. Oh, yeah, it was actually the overhand, right?
Yeah, behind the ear.
Shot. Those are the ones that take your legs.
Yeah, and those are the ones that really bust up your equilibrium, and then you can see Eranosyan felt it.
Sometimes those take rounds to get back.
I don't know. I always found that they actually hurt. You know what I mean? Like usually your adrenaline is in a fight, nothing actually hurts you.
You feel it.
You might be wobbled, but it's called hurt, but nothing actually hurts. The ones behind your ear actually hurt your head. I don't know, man. It's a weird feeling shot.
Listen, you can't turn your head. You turn your head, that's on him, not on you, okay? All right, take us out.
I thought the ref did a good job there by saying, it's on him. He's staying up high, he's turning his head in the direction where Eranosyan's throwing the punch.
Because he was trying to tell the ref, especially late in that round, that there were shots to the back of the head. Christopher Young, our referee, main event of the evening, 12-round super featherweight matchup. Mike Goldberg, Paulie Maldonado, Chris Algieri. Great to be here on a Wednesday night on ProBox TV.
Also, you wind up in this kind of firefight, which is, you're a part of. Get your own respect.
Yeah.
You feel like guys being a little bit dirty, get your own respect.
We mentioned in an earlier fight, boxing not always the cleanest sport.
Not at all.
It's a fight at the end of the day.
Eranosyan undeterred by that great start to round number 2 from the kid.
I think it's very important for Eranosyan to keep Guiterrez on the back foot. 'Cause on the back, Guiterrez is not as good of a fighter when he's fighting going backwards. As soon as you allow Guiterrez a plan to come forward, he's able to put some heavier shots like that together. So Eranosyan backing up Guiterrez is very important. It's looking more and more important as the fight wears on than when he does this. Because up against the ropes, Guiterrez has been almost useless as Eranosyan works him and uses the angles and tries to work the punches.
Most fighters who fight very heavy over their front foot do not fight well going backwards. Guiterrez is one of those.
And worthy of note, as the winner will be the mandatory for Hector Luis Garcia. It was just about a year ago that Guiterrez fought Hector Luis Garcia, a 12-round unanimous decision win for the now champion.
Stop holding. Let him go. Blue, let him go. Stop.
So
Stop.
for
Hector Luis
Guiterrez,
Garcia.
it would be a rematch.
Yeah, Hector Luis Garcia, very talented champion, ex-champion. You had mentioned at the Open that his only loss is to the great Gervonta Davis. So, in which he went up in weight.
Yep,
yes,
at
he went up
lightweight.
in late and went back down to 130 now.
Eranosyan again also trying to play that psychological game. He's not allowing himself to be held. When Guiterrez tries to hold him, he tries to free himself. And that can also kind of wear on you and fatigue you when you got a guy you're trying to hold on to, and he continues to work when you're trying to rest.
Constant pressure by Eranosyan here in this round.
Yeah, it becomes a mental issue there too.
What's that old saying, on you like white on rice? That's Eranosyan's style. He's all over you.
No, I got you.
Good right hand.
Y'all getting a little tipsy in there. Come on now.
Working tight here late in round number 3.
Nice change-up uppercut there from Guiterrez.
Yeah, he missed it, but a good thinking, right, Jim?
Yeah, he tried one earlier in the round that just missed, but
Pitbull, it's a Pitbull kind of round.
You see Eranosyan will not accept the
10
clinch.
seconds
And
for the bell,
and
10
that
seconds.
psychologically wears on you a little bit when you can't control when the fighting is done and when
Let
the
him go,
resting
let
is
him go.
done. And Eranosyan trying to be the ringmaster, the ringleader, and trying to be the boss of when it's time to fight and when it's time to rest.
And a little chapped at the end of the round.
and we had mentioned Guiterrez, not a faded former champ. This young man is here to win. In fact, he's younger than Otar. You got to remember that. He's the veteran. He's the ex-champ. He's actually younger than Otar.
And he can get a rematch against the guy who took that title from him.
Veteran of 32 fights professionally. He is the young man.
The 1996 Olympian in the corner of Eranosyan.
Estoy diciendo, quédate aquí, que las estás viendo. Cuando él se ponga a trabajar, sacalo y sacalo, que lo sacaste, entonces sacalo. Y después lo agarráis. Vamos a hacerla. Y cuando esté a distancia, sacalo golpes largos.
Keep it clean, okay? Keep it clean.
Main event of the evening. The kid comes out throwing at the start of round 4 like he did at the start of round number 2. 13-0 Otar Eranosyan, gold and black trunks, 27-4-1. Roger Gutierrez, the former WBA super featherweight world champion.
Man, the start of every round is so dangerous for Otar. The fight starts across the ring. He's got to get inside, and he's waiting through hellfire to get there.
But at least Guiterrez is now making him earn his way in. You know, earlier in the fight, Guiterrez and Eranosyan was going in the front door. Now Guiterrez at least is showing some fight, showing some shots there, making Eranosyan earn his way in.
The phone booth fight, everything's being answered from the calls thrown by Eranosyan again.
Guiterrez is hurt right now. That first left hook had him. That's why he held Eranosyan and walked him across the ring. Eranosyan landed another left hook and a right hand.
Eranosyan, like a Pitbull tonight.
Let him go.
We've seen him work his footwork and his splash before. This is a good old dog fight tonight, Paulie, and Eranosyan.
Oh!
That chopping right hand again.
Yeah, same shot.
That's been the shot that's been catching Eranosyan. He's got to be careful.
I got you.
And that's from a little bit of distance, like you talked about, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. When there's distance, it's trouble for Eranosyan because the length and the power of Gutierrez is real.
But look, he answers every time. That's what I'm talking about. I we said this at the beginning of the night. He's the kind of guy who answers everything you do. And Eranosyan is a passionate, enthusiastic fighter.
Another tough, strong, durable Armenian.
Oh, yeah. You can be tough and strong, but that enthusiasm makes it that passion. You say, yeah, I can be better than you. You want to hit me, I'll hit you back. And he's looking to answer every time. And despite the good shots that Gutierrez lands at times. Good hook there again by Eranosyan. Gutierrez up high on the ropes, champ.
It's not where he wants to be. He needs to control the center of the ring, keep Otar on the outside.
And he's always an entertainer, just gave us a look.
Otar gives me a look like, bro, this guy won't fight. And then he breaks the hold and shits him with 2 shots.
The left hooks are bothering Gutierrez.
Third straight fight here on ProBox TV for Otar Eranosyan. And the biggest fight of his professional career.
Oh, every time he stops and stays on the ropes, it's target practice for Otar.
But again, he's too high up. He's got to bend his knees on the ropes.
You had mentioned, Goldie, Otar fighting like a Pitbull. He's dogged in the way that he comes and he fights. He is dogged in his approach. He doesn't care what fire you hit him with. He's coming through it.
And this is much different, Paulie, than the other 2 times we've seen Otar Eranosyan on ProBox TV, which shows his versatility and his wide array of skills.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's in with a better opponent. He's beat some decent opponents on ProBox, but here, you're in a world title eliminator. This guy wants to win just as bad as you, and Eranosyan is continuing to raise his game here in a good fight. There's a lot of rounds left to go, though, guys.
12-round fight.
Otar's nickname is Pitbull, but I might change his nickname to Fireman, because he runs into the fire. This guy, he needs to be on the inside. There's that overhand right that wobbled Eranosyan in the beginning of that round. It's that same shot that dropped him a few rounds earlier.
Look what Guiterrez was. He lands that shot and Gutierrez is back. Look at Gutierrez. What is he doing? You know what I mean? He doesn't even look to follow it up. And Eranosyan comes right back and responds.
Well, Gutierrez was like, oh, God, I can breathe. This guy's all over me.
Seconds out.
I'll say it again here on ProBox TV in a main event. We've got ourselves a fight.
Otar's the kind of guy who breaks your will. He's nonstop. It's like the tide just coming in over and over and over.
And he enjoys doing it.
Hey.
Oh, how about that? See? There we go.
That's the thing. With those kind of movements, they waste so much energy, but Otar's gas tank is so deep.
But look what is it? Gutierrez puts himself back on the ropes because of moves like that. You know what I mean? Like he buys what Otar's selling. Otar's just selling there with that hard feint. He's just selling you. Are you going to buy it or not? Are you going to fight? Gutierrez bought it and he just put himself back on the ropes. So Otar didn't even have to throw a punch.
And once again, absolutely zero defense when Gutierrez is back against the ropes. Otar can throw anything, it's going to land.
Good body shot by Gutierrez. He needs to do a little bit more of that.
And there you go, champ.
But
Puts
right
himself
away,
right back on the ropes.
Eranosyan pins his opponent against the ropes again.
And he bought what Otar was selling. Otar didn't have to throw a punch. A bunch of feints. Gutierrez goes back to the ropes, and that's where Otar can work.
As my old buddy Peter Welch, the old Southie would say, smart feet, smart fighter.
Let him go.
He's talking to him. He say, come on, fight.
Definitely the better feet in this fight is Otar Eranosyan. No question about that.
And I like he's got the gold on one shoe and not on the other. He's styling and profiling, too.
Let him go.
He definitely gets style points.
Yes,
the way that he fights, the way that he dresses, the way that he acts.
The way he talks to us during the fight.
Yeah, watch the back of the head, okay?
He's having conversations with 3 different people during the round.
He's talking to the Spanish crew, too. He's talking to Juan Manuel Marquez.
Otar can feel that he's taking control of this fight. And he's starting to gain more confidence.
He's starting to break the will of Gutierrez.
When he fought in January of 2022, it was entertaining against Starling Castillo. And then here at the ProBox Event Center.
That was way on the break.
I said break, okay? All right? I go here. Come, all right. You all right? Keep it clean, Jimmy. Keep it clean. Bucks.
He did the heel tap right in front of Superman Roy Jones Jr.
Call it early or not, I'm seeing Gutierrez start to wilt.
Yes.
You know, in that exchange, the guy hits you after the bell. You don't get mad, you complain. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, again, it's like you're part of the reason this is a firefight. You know, it takes 2 to tango in this kind of fight.
Y'all can't drive.
And right there, Gutierrez had a chance to hit him on the break and did not.
Come on, let's get it.
So you got to take it upon yourself. Exactly, champ.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, momentum's changing.
Stop holding.
Gutierrez is going to have to get respect again like he did in round number 2 when he dropped Eranosyan with that chopping right hook.
Round number 5.
And keep in mind, if Gutierrez continues to fatigue, there's less sting on his punches. A tired fighter can't really get the same sting on his shots as he would when he's fresh.
Yeah, we saw that in the last fight with Baez and Petros.
Yep. Ananyan down on the scorecards, walks away with a win.
And every time they're in a clinch, Eranosyan shows who's holding. Eventually, you never know. Gutierrez could lose points for holding. It's becoming so obvious who's doing the holding, and because Eranosyan is displaying it more and more how hard he has to try to break the holds.
2 weeks from tonight, like always, a Wednesday night. Night of fights on your boxing channel. 12-0 Leonardo Ruiz against 13-0 Raul Garcia. That is our main event, August 23rd. Join us for all the action right here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. Our main event continues. Gold and black trunks for Otar Eranosyan.
So we got this disclaimer here. We got a text from Robert Diaz, ex-matchmaker for Golden Boy, worked with, he's all over the place. He was working with Barrera. Robert Diaz, a big name in the sport. He's letting, and he might be actually involved with Lamont Roach, but Lamont Roach is also in an eliminator, so he's letting us know that the winner of this fight is not does not get a direct shot at the title. This is one of the eliminators, and then you go to a final eliminator against Lamont Roach Jr. before the shot against Garcia. Either way, this is a very, very good fight, and the winner winds up in a final eliminator against Lamont Roach Jr.
Either way, big title implications for the winner of this fight. Not going directly to a title, but, ooh, man.
Gutierrez might get a much-needed rest here because Otar's gloves are,
both sides.
The tape is, both sides is loose.
Get ready.
Otar finding his rhythm, feeling very confident. We're only in round number 6. We have a lot of fight left. Gutierrez is starting to wilt.
Go here.
You can see he's complaining.
Accidental headbutt. Accidental headbutt.
Is he cut? He said accidental headbutt, but is he cut? I don't see any.
He's touching his rib.
Hurry up.
Yeah, he's starting to complain about everything, even places he's not getting hit.
Yep. I always say that when guys start complaining to the ref and not taking it in their own hands to hurt the man who's doing it to you, not a good sign.
Yeah, and you can see his body language is not the same. And Otar's body language, he feels it too, so Otar's body language is getting more and more confident.
Well, I always say when you're in a ring with somebody, you feel their aura. You feel when it's strong, you feel when it's wilting. Oh! Big overhand right from Otar. Oh, man.
And again, you saw Gutierrez go to the body with some nice shots. Again, Eranosyan responds back enthusiastically.
That wasn't behind the head. He's complaining to the ref.
Yeah, and that wasn't behind the head. And now he's starting to get booed. Now you're starting to lose the crowd because you're constantly complaining. And that's what you don't want to do in a fight like this.
Look, I'm telling you, he's wilting. Gutierrez is wilting. He's not confident anymore. He's getting hit more and more. The punches are starting to bother him. He needs to get that respect again. He's got to land a big shot, but his punches don't have the same sting.
And that's the thing. He's not getting the respect even when he lands. Lands a good body shot there, Eranosyan attacks right away, and I think he's also losing confidence because of that. When he lands a shot, it does nothing but really motivate Eranosyan.
And Eranosyan does not slow down at all. And again, not hard shots from Eranosyan. Touching. Pressure.
Bullying, though.
Bullying. Yes, he's mugging him. He's mugging him. He's running his pockets right now.
He's yelling at the officials outside the ring. He's yelling at everybody.
Gutierrez should look for his wallet in between rounds because Eranosyan is mugging him.
I think he took that wallet about 3 rounds ago, Chris. Now he's just got to check for his watch. But the pace of Eranosyan is always an exciting one, is always energetic. And you can see Gutierrez, much to your guys' points, has slowed down drastically.
And we spoke about the gas tank of Eranosyan multiple times. Even though it's his first 12-rounder, he's not holding on, trying to get to the end. I know a lot of guys like, oh, my first 12-rounder, they kind of conserve energy. Not Otar.
Nah, he's got a ton of experience.
Oh.
Shot at the bell again, Eranosyan.
And Gutierrez starting to get busted up too. His face is starting to show the marks of war.
Right now, that man is the man. Who's the man? Pitbull, Otar Eranosyan.
Despite the pace of this fight, he's not even sitting between rounds, guys. Anytime you look at the body language of Gutierrez in the corner, I mean, it's almost dejected.
Yeah, broken man.
But again, a thank you to Robert Diaz for the heads up on the way the Eliminator works here. We might wind up with a fight between Eranosyan and Lamont Roach Jr. next, and maybe we'll have it right here on ProBox TV.
If it's up to Otar, if he has to say, he'll want to hear.
Let's not count out Gutierrez. He does have that pop, and he was able to hurt Otar several rounds ago. Second round, and then again later on in the fourth.
And we did have a fight where a guy was losing every round, and then he came back and won just a few minutes ago.
Can never assume in boxing.
Uh-oh, he's doing the glove to the foot touch.
That's the thing, with the speed and the endurance differential that these two have, Gutierrez really can't take advantage of those situations where Otar does those little tricky moves.
And he can't take a break. I mean, he landed a good uppercut, and Otar's right on top of him. Good body shots there, and Otar doesn't go anywhere. Matter of fact, he gets mad, and he's throwing more.
Yeah, Gutierrez, he hasn't really tried for that right hand over the top, the one that he had so much success with early on. He hasn't tried that in a few rounds.
That's the thing. If he's getting backed up, he can't really throw it. You know, he's got to be planted or almost coming forward. And Eranosyan is backing up more and more, backing him up more and more.
Focus what you're doing. Focus what you're doing.
He just rolls underneath.
Let him go. Let him go. Let his arm go, Blue. Listen, I said let go. Let go. Okay.
See, you're starting to get to that point where you're going to start taking points from Gutierrez. I said it earlier. It's becoming more and more obvious who's doing the holding.
Gutierrez did
got
slap
one
back
in,
there.
Otar got two in.
Yeah, Gutierrez did slap back, though. I do like seeing that. Oof. Aye!
Big round number 7.
And Eranosyan showing less and less respect for the power of Gutierrez. These kind of exchanges, Eranosyan had to be careful earlier in the fight. Now he's walking through some of the shots.
I love those short little shots that Otar throws on the inside. Just shuttle punches, punching him in the chest, punching him in the shoulder. Not the biggest, hardest shots, but they add up.
Well, you want to teach a young fighter to start with your feet and fight from the canvas.
He did the Roy Jones against Glenn Kelly.
Again.
Talking to the Spanish broadcast team.
You think he knows it's the Spanish broadcast team? I don't think he knows.
I don't think he knows either. I think he just sees Juan Manuel Marquez.
He sees the 7-time world champion, the Hall of Famer.
Watch your way out. Watch your way out. Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah,
Gutierrez.
That was in slow motion.
Very sluggish.
Otar needs to be careful. He was punching on the break. He was warned once already. He's so eager to fight.
And that eagerness is what has taken the fight away from Gutierrez.
Gutierrez pushed off, got a little bit of distance, was able to throw the right hand and left hook to the body. But then it's all Otar in response. Oh!
There's that right hand. He tried it. Didn't go anywhere, though.
Otar says, nope.
Even the shots that Gutierrez lands at this point, like you mentioned, no respect from Otar anymore. Walking through the shots, isn't worried about the power anymore.
Look at this little hook there from after the little showboat. The first replay also, you saw some of those shotgun jabs there. Eranosyan was shooting down the middle. Finding all the angles.
Slip and rip. Slips inside, bangs that short little jab.
Love the slip and rip. Round number 8. Fight scheduled for 12. Otar Eranosyan in the gold and black trunks. Roger Gutierrez in the white trunks. Mike Goldberg, the former two-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, the former world champion, Chris Algieri, my powerful partners. We are seeing another show put on by the Pitbull, Otar Eranosyan, and what is a fight against his toughest opponent. Here tonight in the former world champion, Roger Gutierrez.
And you see what it is, too. He holds his ground, does Eranosyan, so you can't get him off you. You can't catch a break. And Gutierrez doesn't fight well going backwards, so if you can't make your opponent back up, you end up getting backed up yourself at a certain point if you can't back him up. And then if you can't fight going backwards, you got a problem, and that's what been the issue for Gutierrez. Even when he's throwing shots at Eranosyan, he can't back Eranosyan up anymore, and so he ends up having to back up himself.
Otar flashing that right, throwing the left.
What worries me for Gutierrez is he's become complacent. He'll throw a combination and he'll stop and wait for the receipt or back himself up against the ropes like this. And there it is, see? He waits. He waits for Otar to come right back.
Does Gutierrez understand English, guys?
I
don't think.
I'm not sure.
I don't think Otar's talking Russian to him, you know?
Yeah, well, I think Otar's talking to anybody around him. Yeah, anyone who'll listen. He's talking to me earlier. He's talking to the ref. Talking to Marquez.
There it is.
Oh,
I knew it was a matter of time.
You called it.
1 point for holding. 1 point for holding. 1 point for holding.
And insult to injury.
Keep it clean, man. Holding. Way to the third.
Well, if it does get to the judges' scorecards, that 10-8 was just erased by the point taken away by Roger Gutierrez.
And especially if Otar keeps going like this in this round, he'll get a 10-8 himself.
Yep.
And like you said, Goldie, that'll basically even that part up.
And that was right at the beginning of the round when Chris pointed out that at the start of the round where there's room, that's where Gutierrez needs to do damage. And he hasn't even come out and attempted to do that the start of the last few rounds.
If I'm Otar Eranosyan, I would put the Tasmanian Devil on my shorts. You know, 'cause he's really like, like the Tasmanian Devil, man.
He has become not just a fan favorite of ProBox TV, a commentator favorite here on ProBox TV. And he loves what he does. And he is tearing into the kid right here.
And now Gutierrez knows he can't hold because he's been warned that he's taking lost points. And now look, he's out of ideas.
Looking to finish him. Down he goes.
Hurt to the body. Hurt to the body.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Fight's beating out of him, guys. Fight's beating out of him, guys. Fight's almost beating out of him, guys.
Continue.
Final second of the round.
This fight is close to being over. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed on the stool. They're coming and throwing the towel.
Oh man. Yeah, good point, champ. They might. Yeah, they stopped it in the corner.
It is all over. They're stopping it in the corner.
Done? Go stop it.
Stay out. No stop. No stop.
I don't think they realized the round was over and they were going to stop it. And then when he saw him coming back at the end of the round, I think they changed their mind. I don't know if you can. I don't know if that's even allowed. But you know what? I guess the towel was never actually thrown in.
But the whole corner was waving their arms right in front of us.
Man, we saw them. They were coming to stop it.
Oh, yeah.
They realized the round was over, and they were like, all right.
Nobody get on the ring apron. You know
the commissioner's
you don't get on the ring apron because if he got to stop,
Regardless, I don't know if Gutierrez wants to go back out.
Commissioner's asking the inspector what he heard. It's a good point by the commissioner. He came to ask the inspector what were they saying. Somebody's got to make a choice here because you're also giving Gutierrez time to recover. That's not fair to Otar.
Meanwhile, Otar is getting the crowd behind him, waving them on.
Even more so. You don't get up until they say
He's sucking up the energy.
Are we going forward? Give him time to recover.
It's going on way too long.
If I'm in the corner of Otar, I'm figuring. Look, the commissioner was calling off. Look,
yeah.
If I'm in the corner of Otar Eranosyan, I'm flipping
But at
out
the
right
end of the round, his corner was doing it too, Paulie.
Don't touch him, doctor. Take a look at him. Take a look at him. Check him out.
Oh, guys, this is no good. Way too long in the corner.
They bungled this one up, man.
Way too long in the corner.
Now, after 5 minutes of between rounds, he's also going to get checked by the doctor. Nah, man.
There's a conflict between both corners.
Well, that 10-8 became a 10-7, Paulie.
Nah, dude. They made a mess of this whole thing right now. And Otar just lost the chance for a knockout, too. This guy's gonna have 5 minutes to recover.
The doctor's asking if he can see, yes or no. Can't get a response. We got it, guys. Call the fight off, or we got to start the round. At this point, it's got to be called off.
But you know what? Otar Eranosyan also needs a team that's going to make a stink about this too. It's also on your own corner to make a whole stink about this. If I'm in Otar's corner, I'm flipping out right now to the referee, to the commissioner, to everybody. This is not fair to Otar Eranosyan.
Okay,
how they stop it?
It is all over. Otar Eranosyan moves to 14-0.
And the new.
Another great show by the Georgian, the Armenian, born in Georgia, living in South Florida.
In a step-up fight, Eranosyan saves his best performance. This is where you really make a difference in your career. When these kind of important fights, you can make a statement performance like this.
Easy to forget that he was dropped in the second round. This kind of fight prepares you for a world title shot.
And he got mad instead of letting it break his confidence. He actually got angry.
And it was a legit knockdown. He was hurt. Legit knockdown.
I'm ready for title. We did with Otar.
You guys were fighting 2-1.
Fighting, taking everything very seriously in the quest for a title shot. Well, fast forward to tonight, and nothing has changed in the mindset of now 14-0 Otar Eranosyan.
And only 6 KOs in his 13 wins, now 7 in his 14 wins, but against the best opposition thus far. That says something. Oh, there's that big right hand that dropped, and again, that was a real knockdown. He was hurt badly. Gets up and starts roaring back. Took some big shots after that as well. Guiterrez showed world-class power, but Eranosyan showed world-class doggedness, world-class skill, and a world-class gas tank to go in there and stop the ex-champ.
The Tasmanian Devil, that's my name for him.
That's a good one. I mean, Pitbull was a good one, but Tasmanian Devil works. I like the fireman. He goes right into the fire.
We just love watching him fight.
Oh, I mean, listen, he's great in fighter interviews, too.
Yes.
One of the nicest guys out there, too. Respectful, well-spoken.
And you can tell he loves what he does. He loves boxing. You know, he loves being in there. He loves entertaining. He loves putting on a show. He loves winning. And he's not scared to get his hands dirty if he has to.
And, you know, Paulie, you made the comment about someone in his corner should have maybe been more vocal and have more urgency in their tone, in their message, but maybe it was just Otar knowing that, all right, if he does come back out, I'll just finish him in the next 20 seconds.
Maybe Otar probably wanted to keep fighting.
Exactly.
Maybe. This guy always wants to fight. I feel like this guy waits for the bus and he wants to fight.
Congratulations to Otar Eranosyan, draped once again with the papuka, the ethnic headgear from the south part of Russia. When we wear it is when we go to war. So we mean business when we put it on. And once again, he was all business here tonight. To make it official, here is Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, the blue corner is unable to answer the bell for the 9th round. Your winner by technical knockout. And now the mandatory challenger for the WBA World Championship, el ganador y ahora el retador obligatorio de la WBA Campeonato Mundial, Otar Pitbull Eranosyan.
Title. I'm the title. Next is title. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more bout, so make sure you stick around.
Smile on the face of the victor, Otar Eranosyan.
You have picture? You have the photo?
I'm going to put Freddie right here.
Non-stop. Again tonight, the Pitbull is another step closer to becoming a world champion. Another great night of fights here on a Wednesday night at ProBox TV. Entertaining, to say the least. And you always get entertainment and energy from the Pitbull, the Georgian Otar Eranosyan. Earns his 7th career knockout in our main event of the evening. Stay with us, we are not done yet. We are going to be visited by the great Freddie Roach. Talk a little boxing, talk about what we saw tonight, and of course, have a little fun, as it's always an honor to see Freddie. All right, here he is, the great Freddie Roach. Freddie, I know that you always tell your fighters you're never out of it, and Petros did exactly that. He proved you right tonight.
Yeah, he had me worried for a little while there, and you know, he started off really good in the first round, but then he seemed like he just was holding water. Just wasn't throwing his combinations and so forth, like he can in the gym. And then you know, I'm pleading with him, but finally I say the right word. I said, throw the left hook, because I was looking for the right hand earlier, but he wanted to throw the hook, and that's what he ended up knocking him out with.
Yeah, Paulie and I had mentioned that he had a really nice short chopping right hand that he was landing early and landed several times, but wasn't putting the left hook on the end of it. He finally does that and then finishes up with a great combination, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, it was a good finish, and now, you know, we need more activity. You know, we went off for a while, and I think that's why he was a little bit sluggish in there tonight.
Yeah, he has had some big breaks in his career, ones that he probably doesn't want, right, Paulie?
Yeah, you know, I want to ask you, Freddie, were you surprised that he was able to end it so fast? I mean, he was working, he seemed like he was trying to work his way back in and up the pace the previous round. Then all of a sudden, he just randomly ended it.
Yeah, it did. It was. He really surprised me, you know, because like the first round was good, but then the middle rounds really weren't that good, and you know, I didn't give him any of those rounds, and then all of a sudden he lands the left hook, and the guy lays down for the 8 count.
Very impressive.
Right before the finish, I had said that round, I said, I think this fight actually now, with the 3.5 rounds left, is going to come down to conditioning. Yeah. There was no question that your guy was in phenomenal condition. Maybe you speak a little bit about his training.
Yeah, he trains really hard, and he's a great kid, and he just, I think the layoff really hurt him tonight, and he just more activity, and hopefully we'll be back here next month.
Let's get him back.
I said strong, durable, tough Armenian, and my partner said, find me one that isn't.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah,
I said that was a little redundant.
And he is hard too.
Yes, indeed. And then in our main event, another one in Otar Eranosyan. How much do you enjoy watching that man fight?
Very much. You know, good fighter, and I like guys who fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves to fight. I think that's the thing that entertains us all, Freddie.
Yeah, very true. You know, sometimes they say that maybe I like to fight too much too.
No, nobody's ever said that, right, Paulie?
But
of course not.
You know, when they gave me the name the Choir Boy, they gave me an idea.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You took everybody to church.
Yeah.
Paulie, when you and I started with ProBox TV, we knew we had something special. Chris has joined us. The platform that we've created on ProBox TV, Freddie, you're one of the greatest and most famous in this sport. It's a nice platform for your sport, isn't it?
It's a great. Look at this crowd. It's nice. I've already asked the promoter to bring me back here. You know, because I've got I got 14 pro fighters, and a lot of them need fights. And I think this is a great place to have it.
Doors always open, Freddie. And you said you like fighters. So do we over here on ProBox TV. We love guys who come and do that.
Okay, that's great.
Well, and I know the three of us agree that we're making good progress, and this is the ultimate compliment to you, Freddie. We're making progress when you're in our building, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a great place. Thanks a lot.
Speaking of fights, 2 weeks from now, Leonardo Ruiz, 12-0, 8 knockouts against Roger Garcia, who is 13-0 with 11 knockouts. Of course, I'll be with my powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri. And Freddie, once again, an absolute honor. Thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations to your fighter.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The great Freddie Roach here in the building tonight. Every other Wednesday, ProBox TV brings you 50-50 fights, brings you good fighters and great fights, and now we're getting great fighters in great fights, and one of the greatest in this business for decades, Freddie Roach, visiting us as we close the night from our world headquarters in Tampa, Florida. Ryan Schwartzberg, Tristan, Gallichan got us started, and then we talked about it. Freddie Roach's Petros Ananyan with a late knockout in a fight in which he was behind on the cards. He moves to 18-3-2. All of his wins with finishes, and then the Pitbull victorious in the 12-round main event of the evening. For my powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, Mike Goldberg, saying so long until we see you in 2 weeks, right back here on ProBox TV.